Excuse me. May I break into your conversations for just a minute? So, for those of you I haven't shaken hands with, I'm Robert Hutchings, Dean of the LBJ School. It's a great pleasure to welcome you all here. It's a great to see such a wonderful turnout. And actually, I've only been here 3 years, but it's wonderful to see students I actually taught in the classroom 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, or 1 year ago. They're all setting the world on fire, not literally, but figuratively speaking. So welcome. And for those of you who haven't been to the new building or the newly refurbished building, I hope you really enjoy walking around and looking at this sort of light-filled space. We really enjoy it. Let me just say a couple of words about some of the new things that are going on at the school before I make some introductions and acknowledgments. Just a few things I'd mention. In January, we welcomed the first ever holder of the Barbara Jordan Chair in Ethics and Political Values, Shirley Franklin, the former two-term mayor of Atlanta. She's making a huge impact here. She was the first African-American woman who became mayor of any major southern city. She's a dynamo. She's a protege of Andrew Young and others in the Atlanta community. She's already made a huge impact here. She's going to be just a wonderful member of our community, and a lot of my faculty colleagues helped in the search that brought her to us. Second thing I'd mention is a new degree program that just got approved last month, an executive master's degree in public leadership. It's something I thought the school needed to do and really should probably have tried to do earlier. And it took a little bit of doing, but we are actually ahead of schedule in getting university approval for it. We will start small with a cohort of 20 to 25 and then grow this program, we hope a little bit larger. I think it'll help us reach audiences in Central Texas that we've never quite reached before. And I encourage, especially those of you who are in Central Texas, to learn about this program, to recruit for this program. Like any new program, it will take a bit of time to get known, but I think we're on to something big. And I've met enough people, thanks to Barry Bales and others around the LBJ School, to know there's a big market for this, a big need for this, because there's a lot of people in the public service professions who find themselves 10, 12, 15 years into a career and discover that the formal academic training they had when they started out isn't what they need to take them the next step. And that's where we come in. So I'm really excited about that. The final thing I'll mention is international partnerships. We have now created 6, I believe, 5 or 6 formal institutional relationships around the world. My goal is to have in every major country an opportunity for students to spend a semester studying there, interning there if they want to do that. So we now have programs in Mexico, Germany, Egypt, Israel, Japan, and I'm going next 2 weeks from now to Shanghai to develop one there. It's a reciprocal arrangement too. It's also a way of bringing the best of the students from those policy schools to us. So I think it's an exciting way of enriching the classroom in lots of different ways. Let me acknowledge some of our distinguished guests. We will be getting to Bob Campbell in just a moment for the award presentation, but let me acknowledge his wife Laura, who is here, and 3 of his 4 children, Tara Ray, Rob Campbell, and Jackie Haynes, as well as his sister Diane. I'm glad that the family could be represented as well as Bob. Let me also recognize the former recipients of the Distinguished Public Service Award. I don't know, I know Courtney is here, Courtney Brown. Hi, Courtney. Albert Hawkins, I also saw. Albert, good to see you. Mike Reyna, I haven't seen you. There you are. Good. So all 3 of you are here. Welcome. It's wonderful to have you here. I won't list them all by name, but let me also acknowledge the Alumni Board and Austin chapter members who are here. We have a wonderful turnout of them. And there we are. Wonderful. Including Lauren Orchel, my former student, and Josh Levine, also my former student. I'm going to populate this whole country with former students eventually. They'll all be Hutchings trained. And let me mention Rachel Speltz Dunlap as well, who is a member of the LBJ Advisory Council, which met earlier today. Thanks for staying with us, Rachel. Now, let me get to the award presentation in a moment. And first, let me thank the Distinguished Public Service Award Committee. Chris Bjornson, who I saw. Chris, where are you? Hey, Chris. Lauren Ortel, who I just mentioned. John O'Brien, who was the 2011 Distinguished Public Service Award recipient. I don't know if John is here. He was here last year for the award. And Professor Lee Bosk. Is Lee here as well? Okay, we have almost all the people I wanted to acknowledge are here. So let me now turn to my friend, colleague, mentor, and the Distinguished Public Service Award recipient for this year, Bob Campbell. As I think you know, the Distinguished Public Service Award is the highest honor that we bestow on our graduates, and we reserve this award for those who go on above and beyond in their leadership commitment to public service. This year's recipient, in fact, is so well known in the world of public service that he requires no introduction, but he's going to get one anyway. Bob Campbell is a dedicated public servant, as well as a devoted husband, father, and grandfather, whose 40-year career has influenced government leaders, federal agencies, and local governments on the major policy issues affecting our state and country. Bob graduated from the LBJ School in 1973, and for those of you who are gifted quantitatively, you'll recognize that's 40 years ago. 40-year celebration, and began work with Deloitte, where he rose to the position of vice chairman and U.S. public sector leader, where he led a number of key governmental transformation initiatives while working with leaders of the major federal agencies and more than 40 states. During his time at Deloitte, Bob has hired more LBJ students as interns and full-time employees than any other graduate of this school. Many of you standing out there today may be benefits of his help and support. Bob recently retired from Deloitte, but he is not resting on his well-deserved laurels. Instead, he is continuing to serve on the executive committee of the board of the East-West Institute, as a member of the executive council of the University of Texas Chancellor's Council, and, of course, most importantly, as the chair of the LBJ School Advisory Council, where he is lending his wealth of experience and perspective to shaping the future of this school. And speaking personally, from the very beginning of my tenure, when Bob invited me to lunch at the Austin Club and shared with me some perspectives, up to this morning when he chaired a session of the Advisory Council, he has been an indispensable partner to me and an indispensable supporter of this school. We're grateful to Bob for his dedication to public service and his commitment to the school that educated him in that field, and we commend him for working so diligently to assist the next generation of public servants in establishing their own public careers. Bob, we thank you and congratulate you on a stellar career and look forward to seeing what you do in the next 40 years. And now I believe we have a short film that you may enjoy, which I believe is a surprise to you, Bob.
When thinking about an award for distinguished public service, there's really no other candidate that comes to mind outside of Bob Campbell. I mean, you look at his career trajectory over the last 40 years since leaving the LBJ School. He's given to the community, he's given to the business community, he's given to local, state, and federal government, as well as globally. There's really no other one person that exemplifies true public service better than Bob.
I think there are a number of good reasons for Bob's nomination for the Public Service Award. One, he's had an extraordinary career in the consulting sector. He's accomplished a great deal with Deloitte, having retired as vice chair. And I think he not only survived in a competitive environment, he thrived.
Well, Bob was my first boss. So Bob hired me out of the LBJ School. I interviewed with him, and I was proud to work for him for the first 3 years of my career directly with him, traveling to a number of states talking about a number of different initiatives that we're helping people in different states. And then he has been a great mentor to me for the remaining 13 years that I've been with Deloitte. So he's really transformed my career here at Deloitte and has really shown me the importance of applying public policy to really complex problems.
As a friend, Bob has always been cheerful and cheering. He's been loyal, very generous. Bob is a man of purest integrity and personal dependability. Bob's career is still in full flight, although he is officially retired from Deloitte. He's still very much involved in diplomacy around the world, in matters of cyber security, in federal debt reduction. He works to find funding for startup companies. I'm sure he's taking notes for his next book. In addition to all that he has accomplished in his career, he's also achieved what is even more lasting and gratifying than that, and that is a loving marriage and a devoted family.
Family is very important to him, and I would say that he always makes his family a priority, and he definitely acts like when he's around his family, there's no place else he'd rather be. And when we were small, I would say that both of my parents acted like it was just fun for them. They had a lot of fun spending time with us, and if there was anything that they wanted to do, they just took us with them. So we traveled a lot, we went to restaurants a lot, and now that I think about it, taking 4 children on an airplane or to a restaurant doesn't sound very fun, but I think it was a lot of fun to them. And I think we get to see the kind of the silly and goofy side of my dad that a lot of people that he works with don't see. So I think he has a lot of fun with us and with his grandkids now. And he definitely makes family time a priority and seems to enjoy all of the time that we spend together a lot.
So, please join me in welcoming Bob Campbell to the podium. Bob.
Wow, what a surprise, and how very special, and I think noteworthy that we had several LBJ school graduates who were featured here. So just thank you so much for the award, so much for the video. I'm honored, I'm humbled, and it really special for me and the family as well. And for that, I'd like to very much thank the LBJ School Alumni Association. I mean, for that, but also for all you do. I see a couple of my colleagues from the LBJ Advisory Council would similarly like to thank you for all you are doing on behalf of the school as well. And maybe even most fun, I see a number of dear friends, classmates from the class of '73, and professional colleagues who are here as well, and look forward to spending more time together with all of you. Would like to recognize Dean Hutchings for the extraordinary job he is doing on all our behalfs. Bob has brought a vision, an energy, a commitment to public affairs education that's extraordinary, and it's really been a pleasure through the Advisory Council to have a chance to work with Bob and his staff, and he's just doing an outstanding job on all our behalfs. I'd also like to recognize and thank my good friend Albert Hawkins, who I know is here. I understand Albert, for reasons I'm not sure I understand, was actually the source of my nomination, and that's humbling because in my view there are probably no more accomplished public servants in our generation than is Albert Hawkins. So Albert, thank you very much as well. Just quick personal reflection. It was 42 years ago this summer that Laura and I packed up, drove to Austin, to join what was going to be a new school, the LBJ School of Public Affairs. The library had been dedicated several weeks before we arrived. They had just put sod on the lawn, and probably most notable, President Johnson was alive, very engaged, and brought just an endless stream of fascinating global and U.S. leaders out to the school. And a class, PEC 25 or so young people, had a chance to spend time with just extraordinary leaders. And I'd say even today, I cannot think of anywhere else I could have gone, anything else I could have done, which would have afforded the same opportunity for learning, development, for a career focused on public policy and public administration. For my friends here from Deloitte, I would extend the same comment to Deloitte. I can't think of any private organization I could have joined and been associated with that would have provided the same opportunity to be impactful on significant public policy issues and to continue to learn and grow professionally over the close to 40 years I was at Deloitte. I've had a chance to talk with a number of impressive young students who are here tonight, and I would say for you, you've made an outstanding choice in graduate schools, and your future is very bright. Have also had the opportunity to meet and greet a number of graduates of the school, some who I've known a long time, some who were new acquaintances this evening. And for you, I'd wish you well in your professional endeavor, and also offer that if there's anything, any time I can do to help you out personally and professionally, please reach out, and glad to do that as well. Lastly, I would like to personally recognize Laura, recognize my grown children, Tara, Lark, Rob, and Jackie, for their extraordinary love and support over my whole career. Any of the modest things I've accomplished would not have been possible without that level of support, and for that I'm eternally grateful there. Appreciate your indulging my reflections. Look forward to having some continued one-on-one discussions the rest of the evening. And wow, that was extraordinary. Thank you, Bob.
I withheld the award to make sure he said something nice about me, but since you did.
Did I pass?
You passed. So this is for you, and thanks so much for all you've done, Bob. That concludes the formal part of the evening, but please stay around, enjoy yourselves, get to know people you haven't met yet, and enjoy this wonderful school. Thank you.